Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots from goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Jo here with SportsGrid. It's time for Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV. Small slate in the NHL today, but we do have an absolutely loaded slate tomorrow to finish out 2024, and then we'll kick off 2025 with one game out there between the New Jersey Devils and the LA Kings. So we got a couple great days ahead, you guys. Let's make some freaking money out there on the ice. Thank you for everyone who joins me here on the daily for a Pocket with Jo. I appreciate each and every single one of you. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that retweet button. I would greatly appreciate it. So also drop in the comments what you're doing for New Year's Eve. I'm still debating if I'm going to go out this New Year's Eve. I really would like to, but then sounds like a lot of work. So not sure if I will do so. Maybe have a couple drinks at home. So sounds like a good plan. You guys, let's jump into the New York Rangers taking on the Florida Panthers. First game kicking off here. Now, this one starts at 7:10 Eastern. The Florida Panthers on either side of the break, coming out of the break and going into the break, they've been shut out in both of those games. They took that last loss 4-0 to the Montreal Canadiens, something I did not see happening. I really did think they would be able to score on that game on Sam Montembeault, and they just came out completely flat. Now, defensively, I'm expecting the lockdown out of the Florida Panthers in this one. They cannot allow the New York Rangers to come out strong. Offensively, we know this Rangers team has been completely struggling. I can't put my faith in the Rangers. They're coming in at plus 180, though, on the money line. If you want to go there, minus 220 for the Florida Panthers, total of 5.5. The 5.5 is actually juiced to the over at minus 132. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow taking this one under because a 4-2 game will push us over that. But I do think we stay under that number, plus 108 to the under 5.5. We've got Igor Shesterkin versus Bobrovsky. Now, when we look here at the New York Rangers, they've scored 2 or less goals in 7 of their last 9 games. So this offense really hasn't been clicking. That power play is weak at 17.9% conversion. They do have a strong faceoff, though. This is one of the better teams in the whole league, even though they've had these struggles at winning that face-off battle. They're winning the face-off battle at 54.3% of the time. So they really need to start pulling things together. That being said, they've lost their last 3. We saw them in that last game versus the Tampa Bay Lightning on Saturday just go down with the ship. They lost that one a 6-2. They tried to battle it out, but the Tampa Bay Lightning were just too much for them offensively. Kind of my fear here with the Florida Panthers. We know this Florida Panthers team, if they get on that power play, can absolutely convert. The power play is converting just over 26% of the time. And they do have a strong kill. There's a strong kill here, though, for the Rangers. The Rangers kill is the best between these two. 84% of the time, they're able to kill the opponent's power play. So I'm looking for this game to stay under that total of 5.5. Now, the last time these teams met, we had a 3-1 win here for the Florida Panthers, and I would expect to see that out of Florida. I think you can look at Florida come out strong in that first period, win the first period, and then try to lock down on that defensive side of things. So the puck line here for the Florida Panthers in the first period, I think, is such a solid way to go. Now, in the last 10 meetings versus the Rangers, they have gone 7-0-3. But we've seen the New York Rangers cover the puck line in the last 12 meetings with Florida in Florida. So these two teams play in tight games. Could this be an overtime game? If it is, it's going to push us over that total, you guys. So if you're looking at overtime, I would not take the under 5.5. I do think it has the possibility of going 2-2 to overtime, though. But, you know, we've got a 3-2 game. The chances are pulling that goaltender, having the extra man advantage, and getting that extra goal. So I'm cautious with the 5.5. I do think one way to isolate it is the Rangers team total. We know this Rangers team hasn't been getting those goals. Bobrovsky in net tonight for the Florida Panthers. And with the Florida Panthers being shut out, you know the defense is going to look to lock down in this one. The under 2.5 goals here for the New York Rangers is juiced, so it's minus 116. So definitely a way to look in this one. I would take it Yeah, the Florida Panthers first period, I think, is the best bet, followed by the New York Rangers under 2.5 goals, followed by the overtime, followed by the under. So that is the order of how I'm liking those bets to come into play. You'll be at work, Kev. Okay. So working on New Year's Eve. I almost said Christmas Eve. Christmas is come and gone. I'm glad you made some money on those picks yesterday, Mo. Happy to hear that. Anita winning 2 goals. Don't break my heart. Winnipeg times 2 goals. Winnipeg should come out nice and strong, I think, in this matchup today. Larry, happy Monday. It's Igor Shesterkin's birthday. Look at you guys just dropping the facts. Igor Shesterkin's birthday here. Do we look at the Florida Panthers team total? Let's see what the Florida Panthers team total is. And now that you say that, with Igor in net for the New York Rangers, I love that look here. I wish they had goalie props out, you guys. I do think you're going to see both of these goalies play a really strong game. Could this be a 2-1 game? Absolutely. So with that being said, with it being Igor's birthday, thank you again, Larry. We have the Florida Panthers team total under 3.5. Again, I think this goes 3-2 style game at the most, 3-1, 2-1 style game. So I do like the under 3.5 for the Florida Panthers as well. That's coming in at minus 118. Great call on Igor's birthday. Panthers and 60. Yeah, I like that as well. Rangers coach is a toast tonight. He absolutely could be a dead man walking. Just definitely not what I want to see. Yeah, rookie debut in there as well. Happy Monday to each and every one of you. Let's get on to this next game here because I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. I'm going to stay off player props. Not loving a lot of player props except for the last game of the night, Utah and Seattle. That's where we're going to play around with those player props. That game, even though those offenses really haven't been putting up a lot of goals, I think when you look at the goaltending and you look at the defense, we got to see some goals in that one. But I'm not seeing the goals happening between the Nashville Predators and the Winnipeg Jets. Now, current odds on a FanDuel, you guys, the Nashville Predators at plus 106, the Winnipeg Jets at minus 128. This line stinks. It was minus 140 for the Winnipeg Jets earlier in the morning. Again, it's still at minus 140. This line stinks. You look at the Nashville Predators. They've only won 3 games out there on the road. And yes, this team has been playing better hockey. But when I thought of this game, I thought of what the line is going to be because I always look for myself at the matchups. I think where the line should be, what the total should be, and then I look at what the books have. I expected Winnipeg to be at least a minus 190 favorite. Why are the Winnipeg Jets such a short favorite in this matchup? It's like the books know something. They're begging us to take the Winnipeg Jets here on the money line in regulation. I just am not sure that I can bite on the Nashville Predators. We look at Saros, and he has been playing his best hockey. He will be in net here for the Preds. He's got one of his best saves percentage that I've seen in years out there. And we look at Connor Hellebuyck, absolute fire, 15-9-2. In 27 games with a 2.53 goals against average and a 925 save percentage versus the Preds. So very strong numbers. Saros, very strong numbers with a 924 save percentage versus the Jets. Both of these goaltenders are going to stand on their head today. Best power play here in the Winnipeg Jets. Their kill isn't great. We have the best kill here for the Predators. Their kill, 86.9%. The power play, again, for the Jets at 32.2%. So the special teams game is really going to come into play. Which team can stay out of the box? The Predators have to make sure they don't allow the Winnipeg Jets that opportunity on the power play. Again, this team has the best ability to lock down on that kill. Now, this is the first night of a back-to-back for both of these teams. Winnipeg plays Colorado tomorrow, and we see the Predators play the Wild tomorrow. This one here is a battle of the Central. Look at Winnipeg's record at home, 13-3-1. And again, I said the Predators are just terrible on the road. 3 road wins, so they've gone 3-11-4 on the road this season, and they're only a slight dog. What the heck, you guys? I feel like the books are trying to trick us into take the Winnipeg Jets. I kind of want to sprinkle on the Nashville Predators, but there's not enough money at plus 106 for me to do so because the Winnipeg Jets clearly the better team. Like I said, not a great line here. We did see the Preds already win this matchup back in November. It was like towards the end of November. They got a 4-1 win. We have seen the Nashville Predators struggle to score those goals. And we've seen the Winnipeg Jets. This is a team that clearly, if this game is going to go over the total, they will score those goals on Saros to push it over. I don't think the Predators go over 2 goals, no matter what happens. Even if the Predators pull out a win, this is a 2-1 win here for the Nashville Predators, under 2.5 goals at plus 108. So that is my best bet of this game. The under 5.5 would be my second best bet. You just got to worry about the Winnipeg Jets. I said Washington Capitals, sorry. You just got to worry about the Winnipeg Jets and what they're able to do in this one. It's a stinky line, you guys. If you agree, let me know. It just does not make sense. Home and away, Jets, they should cash. They absolutely should. I just don't like where the books are giving us. I would be sitting here if this was like a $2 favorite here on the Winnipeg Jets, and I'd be saying take the Jets in regulation. Absolutely. With this line, I don't trust it. The Preds are one of the teams, Amazon Prime. Line is weird. I know, line is so weird. It feels like you got to go with the Predators in this one. It definitely is fishy. It just doesn't make sense, you guys, and something to always watch out for. When a line is too good to be true, it is for a reason. So if you guys don't join me on In-Game Live on SportsGrid, Scott Wetzel and I were live on Saturday. Okay, so we were on Saturday. There's been so many games in between Saturday and now. We were watching the NFL game Saturday that went to overtime. Which game was that, you guys? I'm drawing a blank. So Scott and I bet overtime at 6-1 during the game. My book wouldn't let me cash out. His book offered him a cash out that was paying him 50% more than his original bet with like 6 minutes left in that game. They never offer a cash out on overtimes. And of course, it went to overtime. Scott took the cash out. He made profit 50% more than he'd originally bet. But it went to overtime. The books know, you guys. Fishy lines are fishy lines. And when the books are willing to give you stuff, there's always a reason. Let's look at the Utah Hockey Club. The Utah Hockey Club taking on the Seattle Kraken. Again, this is a game I think is going to go over. And I know offensively, you look at both of these teams and you go, man, they're just not putting up enough goals for me to take this over 6.5. Highest total of the day. It's juiced to the under at minus 130. I think this is a 4-3 style win for one of these teams. Could it happen in overtime? Yeah, it absolutely could. We got a total of 6.5 plus 106 to the over, and that is exactly where I'm going to go with this one. Vermalka is expected here for Utah, and Grubauer expected here for Seattle. My problem with Grubauer is he has allowed those goals to come raining in. In 4 of his last 5 starts, he's allowed 4 or more goals. We also look at him, though, versus Utah when they were the Arizona Coyotes. When they were the Arizona Coyotes, Grubauer played really strong against that team. He went 12-4-1 in 19 games with a 2.02 goals, 2.20, if I can talk. Goals against average, save percentage of 919. Vermalka versus Seattle has had his struggles. That save percentage under 900, also 3.57 goals against average. I do think Grubauer will have regression against this team. This is the first time facing them as Utah, but just because of how he's been playing as of late. I love to look in those goalie trends and how they do versus teams. And this ultimately is the Arizona Coyotes, but he has been playing so poorly. I just don't expect him to get back on track here, especially with what Seattle's defense is doing. Seattle's defense, their kill is only 79.3%. They're allowing an average of 3.14 goals per game, 28.5 shots on goal. And we see Utah rolling in here. Yes, they're only averaging 27.2 shots on goal, but that power play is still solid at 21.8%. So I do expect them to come out nice and strong. Now, they've lost their last 3 as well. That last game versus the Colorado Avalanche, 4-1 on Friday. Colorado has turned things back around since Mackenzie Blackwood got in net. So understandable there. We see Seattle rolling in here off a win versus Vancouver. Offensively, this team woke up. I know they're only averaging that 2.84 goals per game on the season, but they just faced Vancouver. They were able to get a 5-4 win in overtime on the road. I expect those goals to come out of them here at home as well. The last 3 games, when we look at Seattle, they allowed 6 in the last game, 5 in the one before, and 4 in that game prior. So they're allowing these goals to come in. I think you can look at this a couple of ways. I love the first period over 1.5 goals. It's coming in at minus 122, and I love both teams to score at plus 170. Seattle's going to be hungry to defend their home ice, and Utah is going to be hungry to get a win here, losing their last 3. This team is strongest on the road as well, going 11-6 on the road this season. First night of a back-to-back for them as well. They have the Oilers on deck tomorrow. We do see Seattle staying at home, so they get to celebrate New Year's with their friends and family. They will be playing, and most of these teams will. There's who's in Vegas tomorrow? I can't remember who's in Vegas tomorrow. I was thinking probably all of their friends and family headed to Vegas to watch them and celebrate New Year's there. But we've got Seattle in Vancouver, or welcoming in Vancouver on Thursday. So they will have tomorrow off the ice. Okay, so first period, over 1.5 minus 122, both teams to score at plus 170. Who I'm liking for these player props, and this is the only one I'm going to look at player props, you guys. Jared McCann has been so strong for Seattle. He's coming in at plus 240. Vince Dunn at plus 550. Long shot here, as well as Brandon Montour at plus 600. Definitely another long shot player. I like what we've seen out of both of them. Vince Dunn has actually scored a goal in 3 of his last 5 home appearance versus the Western Conference. So we're in that kind of situation here. Brandon Montour is leading the Seattle Kraken for shots on goal. He has 106 shots on goal so far on the season. Coming into this, you can look at him for 3+ shots tonight. That's coming in at minus 108. I do think he'll get it here. We look at the Utah Hockey Club. They're allowing 28.5 shots on goal per game. They do have a strong kill at 80.2%, but Utah in their last 3 games has allowed 4 goals on average. So you're seeing those goals come in. You're seeing more shots. So Brandon Montour, long shot for the goal, but I love it at plus 600, and 3+ shots on goal coming in at minus 108. When we look here at Utah, I would look at Clayton Keller for the goal at plus 165, Logan Cooley, a longer shot at plus 270, and Dylan Guenther here at plus 200. I think this game goes over that total. Okay, Gunther's power play point has so much value out there. I really like where you're going with that, Kev. It's really a good one. Strong one to play on. Yeah, I think Utah looks really strong in this one. They've been playing so great out there on the road. I think Utah can get the win in this one. A couple things you can look at. If you do think this is a 4-3 win, Utah's team total, you can take over 3.5. You're getting great plus money at plus 124. The Kraken's team total is 2.5. I do expect 3 goals out of them. It's juicy at minus 144. So play around with this total however you like, depending on which team you are liking out there. If you want to alt the Kraken's team total over 3.5, expecting them to get the 4 goals in a 4-3 style game, you're going to get great plus money there as well. But with how Utah has been on the road, like Scott is throwing out those numbers, I really do think they're able to get things done. The Rangers need to make coaching changes. Yeah, it's absolutely coming here for the Rangers. Stuff has to be shaken up and changed. This is a team we all expected to really be strong going into the playoffs. Connor Hellebuyck isn't confirmed. So he's the expected goaltender, not confirmed. I would have expected him in the matchup tomorrow versus the Colorado Avs. Now we're seeing Eric Comrie expected tomorrow for the Winnipeg Jets and not Connor Hellebuyck. I think they would do that on purpose, though, because they're going to have a harder time versus Colorado. It could be an overlook here, and this is why this line could be so fishy. It could be an overlook of the Predators in this one with Colorado on deck tomorrow. So you got to worry about that. That's why I just can't jump on Winnipeg at this price. Again, it was minus 140. This line has continued to drop in value. We're getting plus 120 on the Nashville Predators, now plus 106. You saw the Winnipeg Jets at minus 140, now down to minus 128. I tell you, when a line stinks, you either stay off it or bet the other side of it, because the books, they always know something, you guys. It is a terrifying situation if you're rolling with the Predators tonight. But it's awful. It's really awful what they did. The morale for that team is not good. You know, you've got players being healthy scratched game in and game out. It's just not pretty. Okay, recap, you guys, and then we'll look at those players one more time. The New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers. I really have to roll with the Rangers team total under 2.5. I don't expect them to get those goals on Bobrovsky. Larry threw out, I believe, that it's Igor Shesterkin's birthday today. You've got to love those birthdays. Could the Florida Panthers lose 3 in a row at home? They've lost 3 in a row this season, And I don't think it was at home for that third loss. I would have to check that, but it's hard to keep this Florida Panthers team down. I do think this is a lower scoring one. I could see Florida going up in the first period on the puck line with their frustration. With Igor's birthday, that's a scary situation. I think 2-1 style game either way for these teams. So give me the under. Strong bet to that. Under 5.5 is the number. Take it to under 4.5 for plus money. Rangers team total under 2.5. The Nashville Predators, Winnipeg Jets, again, this line absolutely stinks. If you want to look at the Predators team total, it's 2.5. I expect that to stay under with how Connor Hellebuck is playing. If this is Eric Crombry in goal, let's just see. If it's Eric Crombry in goal, let me just check one more site for that listing of those goaltenders. Because if it is Eric Crombry, the Predators, with how they're playing, still can stay under the 2.5. It's still got Connor Hellebuck as expected here. If it's Eric Crombry, the Predators probably win in a 2-1 game. It still keeps us under the 2.5 goals. Saros has been playing great. You could look at the Winnipeg Jets team total under the 3.5. You're going to have to lay the juice there, but I do think it's a solid way to go. Now, if someone's scoring for the Winnipeg Jets, Mark Scheifele has been phenomenal. 37 games, 22 goals, and 22 assists. So he has been so strong. The Predators also have started off these games very strong in the first period. So if you're thinking the Predators have an ability to get the win tonight, the Predators in the first period on that money line would be another strong way to go. Now, Jonathan Marchessault has scored at least one goal in the Preds' last 5 games as well. So that would be your playmaker for the Predators. Again, I don't like taking player props when I'm looking at such a low-scoring game. Your chances of hitting those are so much harder. If you like the Florida Panthers, it's Sam Reinhart and Sam Bennett. The Rangers, all of these players, I just don't like looking at. They're just a mess right now. The Utah Hockey Club and the Seattle Kraken, I do think both of these goaltenders allow these goals to come in. Grubauer has been having his struggles, even though he was strong versus Utah when they were the Arizona Coyotes. I just can't trust him out there. First night of a back-to-back for Utah. This team has been phenomenally strong on the road. They have the Oilers on deck tomorrow. They need this win tonight, so they are coming in as a favorite here. Vermalka has had his struggles versus Seattle, though, so I'm kind of cautious with him. I think you just look at Utah's team total over 3.5 at plus 124. You look at the Kraken's team total over 2.5 at minus 144. This game goes over the 6.5, in my opinion. I love the first period over 1.5 at minus 122. Both teams to score at plus 170 in that first period. Jared McCann, Vince Dunn, and Brandon Montour, your playmakers for Seattle. I like Brandon Montour, long shot goal at plus 600, leading this team on shots at 106. 3+ shots on goal for him at minus 108. Vince Dunn for the goal. He's been strong versus the Western Conference, especially at home. That's a long shot at plus 550. Jared McCann is your safer goal scorer, but safe doesn't pay the bills, you guys. He's coming in at plus 240. Clayton Keller, Dylan Guenther, Logan Cooley would be your playmakers over there for Utah. Like Kev pointed out, looking at Utah on the power play, Dylan Guenther has been so strong on that power play, giving us great plus money. So that is where you want to go with those player props, you guys. Parlay together. Jared McCann, Vince Dunn, and Brandon Montour for Seattle, and then do another parlay of Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, and Dylan Guenther. Each for a point. You're going to get great plus money putting the 3 of them, or just combine the 2 players that you feel best about. Stay off the player props for the other games. But you guys, tomorrow we will have the last show of 2024. So make sure you join me noon Eastern. We got an absolutely loaded slate. I believe we got 13 games tomorrow. So let's jump into that. Yeah, if it is Eric, he was the goaltender in for that last one. Favorite bets? I'd just take both teams to score in the first period for Seattle and Utah. I think we have a plus 170 winner there, and that definitely would be my favorite bet. And then the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers just totally give me the under, and I'll ult it to under 4.5. So I think we're in for a great night out there on the ice. Lots of opportunities to make some plus money, you guys. But make sure you join me tonight on Sports Rage. I'm normally on Sports Rage right around 8:40 Eastern or 8:20 Eastern. So make sure you come on over. I will be with Gabe until 9 o'clock. So we'll hang out. We'll watch some of the football game, and then stay tuned to the SportsGrid app for my Madden Quickie. Again, if you guys could hit that like and retweet button, Greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the last Monday of 2024. Again, I'll see you here tomorrow for the last show of 2024. And then, we're back on Wednesday for the first show of 2025. Wow. I just can't believe it's already here. You guys, as of today, I've been 2 years at SportsGrid, feeling so blessed to be able to work with SportsGrid and to interact with you guys on the daily. So thank you so much for all of your support.